Hello friends, welcome back. Hope you all are doing great. Your family is doing fine, and welcome back to your channel. So today we are going to talk on a very interesting topic that's on budgeting. So prior to that, just guiding you through the disclaimer. So this whole channel or this whole series of videos will be just for your educational purpose. So when you are actually going to do any investment of yours, please consult your financial advisor. And this channel will not be responsible for any gains or losses. This is just for advisements. So we are going to talk on multiple topics full of interest today. So we'll be starting with what is budgeting. Then we'll talking prior budgeting. We have to completely correct all the common money mistakes that we all might be making. And then we will go into a detailed dive into the budgeting. So what is budgeting? Budgeting basically what are income we are getting from different sources. We might be a corporate worker, so we are getting monthly salary, or we might be a businessman, we are getting it from different sources and investments further. So that can be income. So whenever we are planning our expenditure, before that we have to take out the savings first, because we will be expending and then at the end of the month we have nothing to save. So that somehow hampers our financial journey in the future. So that's what budgeting is. So now moving on to three common money mistakes that we make. Starting with the first one, never ever mix the insurance and investments. So nowadays in market we do have a lot of plans coming from different vendors. Certain endowment plans are there, unit link plans are there, etc. So they are not at all good. They might be giving you insurance along with some investments in a long term for all premiums you are paying for it, but it's just a vague catch. It hardly gives you a appreciation if you will see from a percentage point of view. So what you have to do is you have to keep a basic health insurance. So rough cover can be somewhere around heart surgery cost in your city, or maybe 2 to 5 lakhs per person. And always remember to cover each and every person of your family within this health insurance. You should keep a separate health insurance for your parents, and then a separate one for you if you are single, and if you are married and having kids, then your spouse and children as well. And one more you have to keep is basic term insurance. It should be a vanilla product. And how we have to ideally cover, or if you want to say how much cover should I have in terms of term insurance, that should be ideally 20 to 25 times of your annual income. Now the second one is loan management. First of all, we should not take any loan in the first place. If we are taking it, then it should be for our unavoidable needs or emergency situations. Otherwise, it should be a big no. We should never take any loans for the luxuries, like some people do plan, like if they want to go for vacations abroad or for some showing off, show off purposes, buying some expensive cars and phones. That should never be done. Instead, I'm not saying that you should not live a good lifestyle or luxuries. Definitely you should do it, but you should have a first disciplined goal based investment for the same, and then you can easily achieve it. The last point in this segment is, if we have taken any loan, so there are certain steps or priority we can set to fulfill or repay our loans ASAP. The first one is, first of all the credit card use that we have, we should clear that at the first place, because you may not know, in your conscious subconscious mind, you are paying 30 to 45% of your principal amount as interest. That depends on your loan duration further. Secondly, if you have any personal or car loans, you may be paying around 15 to 80% interest for the same. Secondly, you have to pay that. And the more bad thing, or the more attached bad thing with these two kind of loans is, you do not even get any tax deductions on the same. The third one is that we usually take, and we have to take as the path of our life, is education loans and housing loans. The good thing about this is, in education loan you can get a rebate under section 80C, and similarly for home loans you can get a rebate on the principal amount under section 80C, and for the interest under section 24. But even if you are taking loans, try to finish them as soon as possible, because it hampers your investment journey. So now third one is, you should always keep an emergency fund. Our life is always uncertain or unpredictable, so it may happen, like we have recently seen a scenario of COVID pandemic all throughout the country or even the world. So we have to keep a certain chunk amount of fund within any options. It can be a liquid funds, it can be a debt funds, it can be in your bank. But if you are keeping it in your bank or in FDs, you will not get any appreciation if we consider the inflation going through. But ideally, coming back to the topic, emergency fund. Emergency fund, you ideally have to keep it as the fund equivalent to your 6 to 12 months salary. Okay, so friends, now we'll be diving more further into how do we can do the budgeting. So if you'll talk about the budgeting formula, the basic formula goes as 50, 30, 20. 50% whatever we are in having, whatever income do we have monthly, out of that 50% portion should go to our basic needs, that's clothing, food and other rents, etc. 30% we should keep for our wants, because I don't want anybody to live like a pauper and not doing any wishes of theirs first. If you want to go out for holidays, if you go on to purchase some of your electronic gadgets, or you want just move out on holidays with your friends, you should definitely do that. So we'll be keeping 30% on that. So that's what's life about. We should enjoy it as well, and the rest 20% will be your investments. But what is the catch here is, if you keep on keeping this ratio as 50, 30, 20, so at the end of your life, or not at the end of your life, if the end of your age, till where you are just planning for your financial discipline, you will be investing only 20% every month or every out of that same chunk in the year. So that will be quite less. So what all goals you have, you might fail to catch them up. So what we are doing is, I am just keeping this Excel sheet here, and I'll just walk you through. As we progress in life, as we have more income, as we do have more increments every year wherever we are working in, so we'll be slowly changing that part. We will slowly shuffling that. We will be moving bit of our percentage out of needs to investments. We'll be keeping wants as 30 all throughout, and we'll just reducing needs a bit and increasing the investment without hampering our basic needs. So here I'm starting with a very basic thing. So guys who are in their 20s or just newly got a job, so I'm just roughly taking it. So if your salary is somewhat around 20,000 to start with, I'm just taking a basic example, and your annual salary this may be 2 lakh 40,000 annually. So if we are taking the example from this year, so I'm dividing it as needs 10,000, and then what 6,000, investments 4,000 further. So this would be 50, 30, 20. In next year, your starting salary will be same again. So for example, you get a 10% increment every year, so you'll have an additional 24,000 added to your salary, right? So that makes your salary somewhat around 2 lakh 64,000 annually. So slowly, similarly, I have kept this ratio going ahead. So you'll see at the end, with the same scenario, at the end of 10 years, you will have this much amount in your kitty that you can invest on your wants. So it is somewhat around 11 lakh, 11.5 lakhs amount. So if you want to buy a car, you can buy a car out of this. If you want to go on some vacations with your friends or families, you can definitely do it. So we are not hampering your lifestyle in a way. And slowly, slowly, we are moving ahead with investment also, and our needs are not also getting hampered. So now I'm diving individually to all the segments. Now going on to needs. For example, if you are a starter, you started a job and you're living in a remote city, wherever your particular job location is. So for example, I have roughly kept some categories. You can definitely come back and change them. So for example, if you are paying 5,500 rupees and you are a group of guys who just started your job and you are living in a sharing apartment, so accordingly you can pay the rent over there. For food you are paying 2,000, electricity you are paying 500, for mobile bills you are paying 500, for clothing you are paying 500, transportation is 1,000, internet is 500. So this way you can plan how much it goes along. Similarly, going ahead with your wants, some person might have a wish to have some car or bikes, maybe phone, maybe vacation, clothing, dining out on certain occasions. So this is how you can plan over here. You can just put your all values relatively. I've kept it per month wise, and relatively you can change the categories over here. So for all your reference, I will be keeping this Excel sheet in Google Drive, and I'll be sharing link in this description of this video with you so that you can use it and it's handy for you all. So now going further with the investments. So investments, you can invest in PPF, insurance. You should also maintain an emergency fund. There should be NPS, mutual funds, stocks, real estate, gold. For gold, if you're planning, never go for the physical gold. I'll personally suggest you either gold ETFs, gold mutual funds, or SGB, that is being given by the Reserve Bank of India, sovereign gold bonds, and crypto. So accordingly, you can put it over here also. So in a nutshell, I'll tell you, So for example, if an expected rate of returns pre-tax is 15%, for example, if you are investing in all these avenues, you can easily achieve 15% annual appreciation on your amount which you are putting it. I always say no to FDs, never keep your amount in FD, because you can hardly beat your inflation. If you might all know, the current inflation rate is somewhat around 6%, and what FD is offering is also around 6%. So you're basically not growing your money, you're just keeping your money safe. And even if you're not doing FD also, you're just keeping it barely in your saving account, in due course of time the value of your amount will reduce. So similarly, in 10 years you will have some this much of investment. We just checked in the first tab. So just I'm here, what I'm trying to tell you is just invest for 10 years and then leave it. You will have that financial freedom for a particular goal, for that particular investment. Then you can be free. You just put that, doing that investment and leaving it for next 10 years, 20 years, 30 years. That's on only you, and that's how it will go. So by 2030, your investment will be this much. So I have kept the inflation rate of 6% here, so which will substantially reduce the amount in terms of value at that particular year or that particular point in time. So if you have this 22 lakhs with you, you will have hardly around this much value if it depreciates at a rate of 6%. So here this is the whole calculator you can see. So for your reference, I am changing it. For example, somebody is earning 1 lakh for reference per month. So salary is going to be 12 lakhs. So this whole equation will change accordingly. You can change the values wherever in point in time you are in your life. You can change it. Maybe if you're in 30s, you can definitely put the starting salary accordingly. If you're getting an increment of say 15% or maybe less than 10%, you can accordingly do it, and you can definitely walk through it. So friends, I hope you got my basic idea. What I'm trying to tell you is budgeting should be in terms of three sections: needs, wants, and investments. When you go ahead in life, that shift should be there so that you can achieve all your goals and you can create wealth in due course of time. So friends, this information is liked by you all and really matters to you. So please like and subscribe this video, and it keeps us motivating us. And if you have any suggestions for us, please drop your suggestions in comment boxes, and I'll definitely answer your queries if I can do it therein, and I will post videos on your request if it comes by. Okay friends, hope you're doing great. Thank you. Signing off. Bye bye.